Hello everybody. I was asked to do some video for the next project, which is the marking gauge project, which I seem to have lost somewhere here amongst all this stuff. Here we are. Marking gauge. The idea was to get a simple project together that some new woodworkers could on the Unplugged Woodworkers group get to grips with and make something useful, very simple, completely unique, I think, in its design with regards to simplicity but usefulness. It is very, very simple to make. It is very, very simple to use, but it is immensely helpful in everything you do, from marking. I mean, actually, from the point of marking the thing that I'm actually going to make, which is going to be another one of these. So we'll be using this original, probably late 1800s rosewood, to actually make the new one in this case boxwood. What I've got is a twig. Don't come in much bigger than Twig's box. It's a bush really, and as you can see, I've started to square it off. It started round. I'm squaring it off. The reason is not everybody's got a lathe, so what I'm going to do is start with what you will possibly have, which is square stock, and and make it round again. So I'm spending all this time squaring it up. I'll be using some tools that you're probably really quite familiar with now. A bit of an overkill. Old Princess Mary, or Queen Mary actually. She was princess, and she became queen. Bit of an overkill, but brilliant for getting absolute squareness and knocking off huge lumps of wood at the same time, taking it right down to a square edge, reference to the corner to the one I did before with the same plane. As you can see, we're getting there. Also, that actually comes out. I mean, that's a transitional plane from America, and the surface on it is perfectly acceptable for finishing. To be honest with you, it is a stunningly beautiful plane. There you go. So the idea is to get the bush twig down to a square, and then once we've done that, turn it into the stem of the marking gauge. This works on a cam system. It's not quite circular. It's a cam shape, and it's got almost like a comma shape, and it'll only fit in loose if you line the comma up with the comma in the hole on the stock. Once it's down, it will just do anything you want, but once you turn it, it's impossible to move it, and that's brilliant, in my opinion. Brilliant piece of equipment. So the idea for the first session is just to get your stock ready to start measuring, start making reference points, and start drawing up the two halves which you're going to make. This doesn't sound like it's cutting. This is Mr. Tween. It is cutting, just paper thin. Just to give me a zero tear out on the surface, because the box has a tendency down the grain to tear out. So that just finishes it off, and as you can see, we've got two sides to a square and a rectangular cube that will be the shaft. Once we've done that, we'll come back and do video number 2, which will be measuring it all up and marking it all up, and then cutting out the various parts, all with hand tools, obviously. While I get myself into these things, just to prove that it can be done, and it can be done very quickly and by anybody. So that's video number 1. Just getting the stock ready. One half, and the other half's here somewhere. Holding up Queen Mary. That's the other half, another block of boxwood. You can use any hardwood, rock, maple, I think somebody said hornbeam, hickory, that sort of stuff. You can hear how hard that stuff is. That's why I want to use box. Yesterday I made a hinge out of box, basically 2 halves, and it's just a wonderful material, and you can make absolutely anything with it. Chess pieces, netsuke, whatever the Japanese call them, anything really, because it is a very, very, very hard wood that is easily carved and shaped and stays that way, hardly gets damaged. That's why rulers and things are made out of it. So excellent piece of wood, and we'll be making a very accurate tool with these 2 pieces, but as I say, any other hardwood will do perfectly well. The pin that we use for the end, it's just a screw here, and that's what I'll be using, to be honest with you. I don't think there's really any need to do anything more sophisticated, but you can do whatever you wish. You can harden some steel. We'll be hardening some steel to show you how to make a cutter and a wedge out of brass, and hopefully that will inspire you to go on to doing some simple hardening and tempering of tool steel, 01 gauge plate as they call it, and that's a very useful thing to have, even on a small scale, and something you can do in your kitchen when people are out shopping. So that's the end of the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on video number 2.